Morning. Welcome to Pebble Hill Church. This is the year 5785 in the Jewish calendar, and it's October 13th in the calendar that we use, the Gregorian calendar, 2024. So welcome everybody, and this is I'd like to acknowledge we have David Troy here with us on guitar. Thank you, David, for joining us. And
Thank you so much. So much.
and Janet Berkowitz on Zoom that will be joining us as well. She's going to be
Janet.
part of this. So this is our annual Jewish high holiday celebration that we do every year. And it's about just kind of bringing in an aspect of interfaith practice that we as a church offer, recognizing that we're a church of many paths, and we bring in all the different teachings and understandings of the many ways that we celebrate and recognize the divine. And interestingly, there's a lot of weaving together between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. They all come from the Abrahamic tradition. So Abraham is the father of all three traditions. So this is going to be sort of an interactive part as well. There's things for you guys in the community as the congregation to do. And some of you got some handouts if you got here early enough. And there's also some yellow sheets on your chairs. And I think we have some pencils go around. Okay, so we have some activities for you to do that are going to keep you guys engaged. So why don't we start by reciting our credo together? We live a life by love transformed, by spirit empowered, by creative imagination, guided in peace with all. And Dave is going to start with our opening song, Return Again, and the lyrics are on the back of your sheet. Join with us.
Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return to what you are. Return to who you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return to what you are. Return to who you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul.
Thank you, David. So there's a term that we use in the high holiday, and it's called teshuvah. And teshuvah means to return. And the essence of the high holidays, the Jewish high holidays, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, is to return back to the land of our soul, to reconnect with that which is good, to reconnect that which is the divine in us. and how do we align with that? And in the tradition, there is an alignment period between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's a time to reflect and a time to look at ourselves. And there is a certain level of scrutiny involved in looking at ourselves that is deep scrutiny. And there's a term they use sometimes called cleaning the slate. So it's really about clearing out all that keeps us from connecting deeper to our truth, to our true nature, to our true essence. And today we're going to go a little deeper. We're going to take a little bit more of a deeper dive into that. And as we go through this celebration this morning. Okay. So anybody have some energy around lighting the peace candle? Feel that they would like to hold a space for peace and feels just feels that energy right now. Anybody can come up. Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
True peace, lasting peace, is an inner strength that we take wherever we go. It's a balance of your well-being so that even in the greatest of diversity, you're not drawn into the whirlwind and frenzy of the real world. You observe and react instead of just respond, working with all parties to create a worldly peace by having that divine peace within.
Oh.
Thank you, Jeff. Do we have any announcements? Anybody wants to offer? You were just up there. You want to come back up? I have a feeling you're going to say something more. Should have kept you there.
All right. All right. Something more to say. There's a box over there with ballots, and we vote for council. So if you haven't voted yet, take a ballot and fill in the candidates you want to be on council. You can check off all of them if you like, but only if you're a Pebble Hill Church member are you eligible to vote. Okay. So we have that, and we have great things coming. Roz, maybe you want to have some of the thunder because, okay, we have made a sizable donation to the Peace Center. And as such, we have a full page ad going into their pamphlet for the celebration night that they have at the gala, recognizing all those good people who've helped them do great things here and I guess almost internationally, because that's where the Hiroshima and Gary's part of that as well. So we have our donation that way. And we'll build on that and move forward.
Can I see that for a second? So I just want to point out on the bottom here, we have a QR code that goes to our website. And so anybody who can just use their phone and get the QR code, it takes them right directly to our website. And it has the 16 principles on here. And it has some good information about Pebble Hill. I don't really just pass it around and people want to take a look, they can see. Well,
Yes, I do, Gary. Good morning, everyone. So the Artist's Way Book Club is limping its way to the last chapter. Literally limping. And so we've discussed briefly about what book we want to do next. And it hasn't gone to vote yet, but there does seem to be a lean towards the 4 agreements. So hopefully we can get some people involved in that. I know the Artist Way was a little daunting for some. Group got a little small there at the end, but hopefully with the 4 agreements, we'll have some new energy and some new people to join. It will be sometime in November.
Okay.
Oh, and I also want to not forget that this coming week is the anniversary of our famous Florence passing.
Good. Lawrence.
And also remember these folks, remember the Japanese survivors that we met in August. Well, this organization that organized them won the Nobel Peace Prize this year. Now, some of these have already passed, but I thought we've had their photographs on the back bulletin board, but I thought I'd put them on the back table. Take one home and make that person your saint, whether alive or not anymore, but very happy that that happened.
Joanne, go ahead.
Hi. On November 3rd, we're going to have our Pea Soup Sunday, and Barbara Wycamp and I are going to be singing during this to raise money for the Indigenous Peoples Alliance. We have a lot of t-shirts to ship to reservations and family out in the Midwest, so we would appreciate if you can come bring a dish to share and enjoy. Barbara Wycamp is going to be encompassing various artists and changing costume, and I'm just thrilled to sing with her again. So November 3rd, Pea Soup Sunday.
Thank you, Joanne. A few other announcements I have. So next Friday night is Pranic Healing here at Pebble Hill, 7 to 9 p.m. And then November 1st and 2nd, Friday night, November 1st, Saturday, November 2nd, Sue Bartles is doing a concert, 2 nights. So come out and join us. Part of it is Sue is doing, why she's doing 2 nights, because she wants to give back to all the people that have supported her during some of her medical challenges and have made contributions. So she's doing it for those people, and she's doing it for anyone else who wants to join. Tickets in advance are $20 or $25 at the door. There's a flyer that's in the white encasement. As you come up, you can see it. There's actually a QR code in there that you can use if you want to get tickets online. And it's also on the website. If you go on the Pebble website, you'll see the listing for the concert. You just see Sue Bartles. Did you want to have a question? Yes, it'll be here at Pebble Hill Church. Friday, yes, here, live here. You can give cash. Alan will be glad to take cash. If you pay online, I think it's like what, a $21.25 and $1.25 extra for your credit card or PayPal. Okay. Anybody have a birthday? Anyone that we want to acknowledge who in October? Anyone birthday that has passed or coming up? Okay. You're the Halloween baby. Okay. We'll wait for Halloween. Okay. Well, what's her name? Ruth. Okay. I don't know.
I mentioned Wanda last.
I think they need to be here, don't they?
And I saw her, and she's very appreciative for all the love that you guys.
Okay. Well, thank you for reaching out to Wanda, keeping her connected with us. And we have any visitors, and I know that everybody here has been around at Pebble, but we have some people who haven't been here in a while. So welcome, Kaylee and Michael. Good to see you both. Woohoo! Thank you for showing up. And okay. So I want to just go into another piece here. And then we're going to light our peace candle after I go over a little bit more about Rosh Hashanah. We're going to get to it. So moved it back in the format. So Rosh Hashanah is about really looking, like I said, deep within and introspection. And it really is about how do we open ourselves up to the beauty and wonder that's around us. And a lot of times, in my experience, we're not always there, right? We get blocked, things come up, we see things in the world that keep us from really going into that place. I was driving my car up this on my way here, and I think, what do I want to say or share? Sometimes it just comes to me as I'm like, in process, and I kind of download my words. So this kind of like came to me, and I was thinking about myself, and I realized, that I'm not always a nice guy. People might say, well,
No, Gary?
and that I was thinking, some of my inner words that I think and reflect upon when I think about certain people that I have come in contact with. I realize sometimes my inner script is not always clean. Sometimes I can be critical. I can be critical of others. I can be critical of myself. I can be judgmental. And I was listening to some of the words that I was thinking about and saying in my mind. Can anyone relate to that? Am I the only one? Don't leave me hanging out here on a limb.
I'm up here. I'm waving in the breeze for you here.
So how many times have we found ourselves, walking away from a conversation or interacting with someone and maybe having some judgments that are harsh? And I think, wow, I have shadow. Well, that's shadow, right? Part of us that we hide, repress, and deny. That's what's shadow. And sometimes that part is not glorious or glamorous. And I was just going through my mind was just going, and I'm thinking, wow, am I really thinking that about this person? And I thought, I'm really ashamed of myself. I carry shame that I have these thoughts. And because I know that I want to be a loving person, I want to be an accepting or embracing person. Did you want to say something? Hey, Kaylee? You want to come? Let's give her a mic.
I'm saying I have a huge critic. That's why I belong to Critics Anonymous, But I do want to say that shame did not come from God. So get rid of the shame too. That comes from your inner critic.
Yes, thank you.
Forgiveness is the only response that is appropriate.
How much did I pay you to say that?
Here's your $20.
That was, hold on. Because that's actually what we're here to talk about today. So you're right on cue.
Well, I just want to say that I'm always nice. Of course, I always lie. I also lie a lot too. So
Thank you for your honesty.
And the last time I had a rebellious feeling, it was here
Mm,
and many times in between.
yeah.
And
thank
but every time I come back here, it always feels like I just came home.
you. Oh, well, thank you. That's why we sang that song.
Don't stay gone so long.
That's why
Welcome
we,
back, Kylie.
and that's why we sang Return Again, return to the land of your soul, because that's what this is about. How do we return to the land of our soul? So I'm going to read something here. May we open ourselves to beauty and wonder. May we care deeply for one another, near and far, honoring the web of life. May we shed abundant tears to honor all the loss and devastation in our world. May we honor our ancestors and receive their blessing. May we overcome the fear of death. May we learn to see with new eyes, to open new possibilities. May we each be empowered to give the best of our gifts. May our human family empower leaders for their wisdom and compassion. May we know our resilience as a species that has survived many plagues, wars, famines, and other hardships. May we restore our capacity to live sustainably with our Earth Mother. May we open to hearing the cries of the oppressed and to bring a force of love, truth, and justice. May our love for one another overcome the forces that try to divide us. May we know and proclaim that we are one. So these are wonderful visions and ideas. And no, visions and ideas are wonderful and yet not always achievable on a day-to-day life. And so we're going to talk about how do we get there? How do we, in practicality, step into that place and walk that talk, right? We all have good talk. And how do we walk that talk? And that's one of the things that we want to be, I believe, as a peace site, to proclaim that we live what we say, that our words are in alignment with our actions. And there's a terminology, I'm sure you know the word, integrity. So integrity is about aligning our words and our actions. We say what we say, we do what we say. And, and we are recognized that at times we can be hypocritical, right? Did I say that? Did those words just come out of my mouth? So, really looking at how do we do that? And part of it is, it's really about cleaning the slate. So today, we're going to go a little deeper. And there'll be some more activities in a little bit. But before we go there, let's light the peace candle. I'm sorry, let's light the peace candle. We did the peace candle, you're right. I'm sorry, let's light the other candle. Thank you. We have another candle. This is the candle that is the candle of blessing. So I'm going to ask Stan, would you come up? Would you do that? And this is the this represents the holiday of Jewish high holidays, and there's a blessing that goes with this. And Deva is going to sing the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'echeyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
And the words to what David just sang are: a fountain of blessings are you, source of life, creative power of the cosmos, whose power enlivens us, sustains us, and enables us to reach this season of new beginnings. And it's actually on your program. So if you want to read it together with me, because they're very beautiful, powerful words. A fountain of blessing are you, source of life, creative power of the cosmos, whose power enlivens us, sustains us, and enables us to reach this season of new beginnings.
And the Shehecheyanu is done in Judaism many times throughout the year, whenever there's something to celebrate.
Thank you. So now I want to ask Janet Berkowitz to join us and read. Janet has a reading for us.
Okay, you all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is called A New Year Begins, from Meditations for the Days of Awe by Alden Salovi. Every moment a new year begins, something lost, something gained. Every day a new challenge, every hour a new choice, every second a new chance. God of old, in this moment, a baby will be born and a child will die. In this moment, lovers will marry and others will split. In this moment, someone will hear that their medical treatments succeeded and others will be told to prepare to die. Every moment a new year begins, something lost, something gained. Let me breathe in a soul of compassion and breathe out a soul of peace, loving gently in the morning and ferociously at night, dancing wildly at dawn and slowly at dusk, crooning full voice at midday, singing quietly at midnight. Creator of all, every moment a new year begins. The flow of fresh light from heaven touches our hearts. Something lost, something gained. Let it be for blessing. Let it be for healing. Let it be for shelter. Let it be for wisdom and strength. Let us be in this moment your messengers of kindness on earth.
Thank you, Janet.
Mhm.
And so as Janet has mentioned, New Year, this is considered a new year in the Jewish calendar. The Jewish calendar goes by the lunar cycle. So this is considered the new moon, which started on the first, when Rosh Hashanah began, which was about 10 days ago. The first day of Tishrei, the Jewish holiday, the Jewish month of Tishrei. It's the 7th month of the Hebrew calendar, which falls on the evening of Rosh Hashanah. And in Judaism, it's considered the creation of the world happened when Rosh Hashanah in the old Genesis. And that's how far back this goes.
The birthday of the world.
Yes. So you could sing happy birthday. Because we were thinking, all right, so David, get ready to sing happy birthday. So maybe you want to sing let's sing happy birthday to the world, because in Judaism, this is the Jewish birthday of the world. So let's sing together.
Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, may all your dreams come true. When you blow out the candles, one light stays aglow. It's the love light in your heart wherever you go.
So this is in Judaism, we go by 5785. But we know that historically, probably not exactly correct. We'll go with that.
It's close. It's also a 7-year. We like that at Pebble Hill Mystical Gifts, right? 7.
Adds up to a 7.
Mhm.
Okay. Gary Cope would love that. So we recognize that this is the birthday of the earth, of the planet, supposedly. Well, we know, obviously it's actually millions of years, but who's counting? So, but we acknowledge this is a time, again, self-reflection and healing. And so we're going to now shift into our healing prayers. And I'm going to read out the names of those who are on the list. And Dave is going to sing a song that is a little different than what we do. And it goes like this. You want to start?
As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed.
The back of your programs.
As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And the blessing gives us strength and makes our vision clear. And the blessing gives us peace and the courage to dare as we bless the source of life. So we are blessed as we bless the source of life. So we are blessed.
Together we pray for all the people in all countries who are at war, and for all refugees and displaced people because of war, for all candidates and election support staff everywhere in the country, for our beloved Tom Legier, who will have open heart surgery on October 31st, for Diana Young and her family, especially her mother Betty, who is recovering from open heart surgery, for Maria Starr, for Janet Berkowitz, for Bill Metler after completing his treatments, Andy Wright, Karen Stiriak, for Sue Biger, Melissa Davison, Chris LaRue, and Nancy Hesh, her relationship with her sister, for Tina Meckes, she continues PT. For Dave, Willie Perkins' friends, Diane Bynum, Kelly Benson, Betsy Zazo, Louise Riney, and Dave's cousin. For Annie Marins, Norm Dennis, Dave Newsom, Chris Coolish, their father, Tony. For Moose, for Chris Engelhardt, Jen Watts, Wanda Canfield, Marilyn Stoker. For the Ferrero family, Jen Ferrero's friend Larry Hackett. Continued prayers and blessings for Latoya Russell and her daughter, Ayan. For Barbara Atkinson's daughter, L'Oreal, and L'Oreal's sister, Genesis, and Barbara's brother-in-law, Ed. For Chloe Eisman and her son, Joe Eisman, for their relationship. For Judy Henderson. For Suzanne Wolf. Please name anyone who you'd like to include in our prayers.
Robert Picker,
We ask that there be an end to war and hunger in our world, and that we may all work to lessen the suffering in this world. May the earth and all of our life forms be cherished and allowed to thrive. May the good that surrounds us be magnified. And now you are invited to name a loved one or a friend who's passed this last week, or if this is the anniversary of their passing.
Jack Wolke,
Betty Silverston, and Lilac Cooper.
For Florence Prout Hamill. For all those that lost loved ones. in the Florida tragedy. And for my wonderful grandmother Alice, who died this coming Monday, 2002.
For my dad, Henry, who passed on
So I
October
say,
12th.
L'shana tova, tikatevu, vitegotenu, which means, you want to do a,
Well, I can sing it. This
you
is
want to
what
sing it?
sounds
David's going
like.
to sing that song. So this is a,
It's just a chant. Lishana tova tikatevu, Lishana tova tikatevu, tikatevu, vetachatenu.
and so may all the names of those that we prayed for be written and sealed in the book of life. And may all of us be written and sealed in the book of life for a good year. Amen. So now we're going to do a community reading. And I passed out, some of you have some handouts to read. And I want to, before we go into this, I want to explain a little bit what these are. So this is a proclamation that we do. This is part of the traditional Jewish high holiday service. And it's recognizing the word sin. And the word sin, I know, is a pretty loaded word. And for some people, it's a trigger. But in the Judaism, we use the word sin for missing the mark. So it's when we aim for something, we aim to be the kind of person we want to be, and we don't fulfill that because of whatever self-critic we have within us that keeps us from showing up in the world the way we want to show up. So we call that a sin in Judaism. And I know that sometimes really has a heavy word. So forgive me if the word sin is too strong for you, but just think of it as missing the mark, okay? So we're going to start out with, now there's a Hebrew part of this, and it goes like this: Achet shekatanu lafanecha. So there's a masculine and feminine, and the feminine is Achet shekatanu lefanayik. And it basically means, for the sin we have committed before you. So before each one, there is that line in Hebrew. And then there is another part after we read a couple of them where we're going to say the al kulam. The al kulam, Elohai slikot. Salak lanu, makal lanu, kapir lanu, which basically means, and to all, God forgiveness. Alt for all, God forgiveness. Pardon us, forgive us, atone us. Okay? So this is really about a deep kind of going in a little deeper into forgiveness and asking for forgiveness, because that's how we heal. And Kaylee, you said that so well. It is about forgiving ourselves, forgiving others. So I'm going to ask, who has number one? I'm going to pass around the mic as you stand up. I think, if you have number one, raise your hand. Who has number one? On the top of right-hand corner? Does it say one? Oh, you have 12. Okay. Does anybody have one? I guess I'm number one.
Oh, you've got it.
Nobody has one? Okay. You want to stand up?
I'm number 2.
You have number 2?
Yeah.
Hold on. Do this. Okay. For this achet shekatanu lefanecha, the sin we have committed before you, for not honoring the earth, for being in denial about climate change and chaos and ignoring the warning signs, for letting the climate crisis color everything bleak rather than keeping an open spirit and working for livability. Okay, so number 2.
For the sin we have committed before you, for doubting our divine gifts and fearing our greatness, for not singing louder and dreaming large enough, for remaining in our comfort zone when called to act with courage, for not surrendering our will to God.
Who's got 3? So let's say the achet. You want to read it out loud? Achet shekatanu lefanecha. For this, and then what does it say under that?
For the sin we have committed before you, for not being gentle with ourselves and others, for not remaining present, for not expressing our gratitude for our gifts,
for not relying on our spiritual toolbook, and for not leaning into trust when we feel anxious and fearful.
And we say, Vial Kulam. And there's a chant that goes,
I'll do it.
you know what?
Yep. I got it.
All right. Who has number 4? You want to give him the mic? Achit.
I hate Shikitanu sandwich. No, that's it. Close. For the sin we have committed before you, for not listening with a gentle heart, for being a perfectionist, impatient, harsh, critical, and fearful of others, for being too quick to judge, too likely to contradict, and too eager to assign blame, for not considering the long-term consequences of our thoughts, words, and actions.
Who's the next?
For the sin we have committed before you, for self-harming our emotional, physical, and spiritual self, for being arrogant, self-centered, stubborn, and inflexible, for being distracted and misjudging our instincts, for not acknowledging our powerlessness over people's responses and actions.
Anybody got?
Looking for number 6.
Doesn't have 6. All right, why don't you just go? We might have missed 6.
Can't remember.
The dog has spoken. Okay, we'll go to 7.
I'm lucky number 7. I'm lucky number 7. I was very excited when I got 7. For
I'll
the
sing
sin
it
we
for
have
you. I'll sing
committed-
you the piece before. Al chet lecha tanen lecha necha. Go.
For the sin we have committed before you. For escalating conflict rather than pausing and stepping away. For neglecting to understand how fear impacts one's actions. For closing our hearts and minds to the suffering around us and the extent of injustice in the world. For not protecting our neighbors and adequately caring for those in need.
And just to remind you what those words in Hebrew are in English, and to all, God, forgiveness, pardon us, forgive us, atone us. Who has next reading?
For this, for the sin we have committed before you, for being resentful, holding grudges, and not being radically forgiving, for being jealous when comparing ourselves to others, for craving more or different rather than appreciating what we already have, for overindulging and using substances and activities to numb and zone out.
And to all God forgiveness, pardon us. Forgive us, atone us. Next.
Al hate shechatanu lefanecha.
For the sin we have committed before you, for broken vows and unkept promises, for doing the easy thing and not the right thing, for forgiving that we are capable of being innovative, and for implementing new approaches to situations, for losing sight that every breath is a gift and every one and happening is a gift. And for good measure.
May I ask that we stand up for this last one? Would that be okay?
Well, there's more than one.
Oh, I thought we're done.
10? Who's 10? Who's 10?
Oh, there's another page, forgive me.
Yes, yes. Does anyone have a 10? Okay, I'm going to read it. Are you, what number are you?
11.
Okay.
Al hate shechatanu lefanecha. For the sin we have committed before you.
Yeah.
For being resentful is where it starts.
Why don't you guys read yours?
For the sin, oops, let me have the microphone. For the sin we have committed before you, for not listening. Sorry, I get choked up when it hits my heart. For not listening to the symphony of divinity. For not prioritizing prayer, sacred service, and our spiritual community. For forgetting that we are love. For not remembering that everyone, yes, everyone, longs to be loved.
Hold on. Oh, things are moving around. Are we ready to do Vayal?
Yes.
Vayal. Kula Elohai Zelicho Selach Anu Nechach Anu
And to all God forgiveness, pardon us, forgive us, atone us. Anybody who has not read, stand.
Al hate lefatanu lefanecha. For the sin we have committed before you.
Wait, let him get down.
For the sin we have committed before you, for not listening to our deepest selves, for not having compassion for ourselves and others, for being unable to release and let go, for believing that we are not worthy of love, joy, and forgiveness.
They are Ulam Elohai
Let's take a breath and take in the words about forgiveness, looking at areas where we have missed the mark. Even though the words may not particularly resonate with you exactly, they may be words that resonate with the human race. And how do we acknowledge that there are those aspects of people, ourselves? And by saying it, by claiming it, by stating it, affirming it, acknowledging it, we take it out of shadow and we put it in front of us so we could see it, so it doesn't come out from behind. So we name these things and say, yes, I do that. Yes, this is an aspect of the way I act. Perhaps I'm not proud of this, but I name it. You can say, I can be critical. I can be judgmental. I could be hurtful. I could be insensitive. And when you acknowledge that that is true, it's in front of us. We see it in front of us instead of it being behind us. And you know, when it's behind us, what does it do? Kicks us in the ass. Because we don't see it coming. And it's called our blind spots, right? We all have blind spots. There's times, you know, when you drive your car, you can't sometimes see unless you have a smart car that has a little thing on the side of your mirror now that lights up and I don't have to worry about my blind spot anymore, right? That's one of the things with the smarter technology. But if we don't always see our blind spots. Even with those smart technologies, sometimes we don't see the blind spots. And if we recognize we have blind spots, we cannot critically, I believe, it's hard to critically look at ourselves and see where we perhaps have some shortcomings. That's also what makes us human, by the way. That's also, as we look at those parts of ourselves, we refine, you know, ourselves, and we become, hopefully, as we mature, we grow into who we are in our fullness. So Dave is going to sing another song for us. This is one I believe, is this one of yours?
Well, I'm laughing because I talked to my friend AI.
Oh, yeah, I know AI.
Everyone seems to know AI these days. And I said, help me come up with a chant that's a simple chant that everyone can sing. So
It's on the back of your program.
it's on the back of your program, right? And we are doing Look Deep Within. So it's under As We Bless the Source of Life. And it's to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So we all know that one, right? Look deep within, see where we've been wrong. Forgive ourselves, forgive each other, and find where we belong. Love yourselves. Let's try that again. Love with open heart, kindness we will show. More aware and more at peace, together we will grow again. Look deep within, see where we've been wrong. Forgive ourselves, forgive each other, and find where we belong. Love with open hearts, kindness we will show. More aware and more at peace, together we will grow. Look if we've been, see where we've been wrong. Forgive ourselves, forgive each other, and find where we belong. Love, open hearts, kindness we will show. More aware and more at peace, together we will grow. Look deep within, see where we've been wrong. Forgive ourselves, forgive each other, and find where we belong. Love with open hearts, kindness we will show. More aware and more at peace, together we will grow. Look deep within, see where we've been wrong. Forgive ourselves, forgive each other, and find where we belong. Love with open hearts, kindness we will show. More aware and more at peace, together we will grow. Look deep within, see where we've been wrong. Forgive ourselves, forgive each other, and find where we belong. Last one, love with open hearts, kindness we will show. More aware and more at peace, together we will grow.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Jeff, for remembering this is offering. Thank you all for your giving. Thank you so much for the energy and the green energy that we give back to Pebble so we can do good in the world. That is our mission, to do good in the world. And that we're supporting the Berks County Peace Center this year. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for all that you give. And so now I'm going to go to the yellow sheets that you have on your chairs. This is called personal inventory. This is actually a spiritual inventory. And when you look at this sheet, it has, it's called the Teshuvah worksheet. Teshuvah means to return. And does everybody have a pencil? I think they're giving them out. Thanks. Deb is giving out pencils. So I want to ask you to take a few minutes and look at the left-hand column. It says repeat. And the right-hand column says change. Alan, you want one? You got one? So we want to invite everybody to be part of this exercise. That's change. We didn't mean literally, you have to throw out your change. But, we'll take anything here. So on the left-hand column, it says repeat. So repeat means, what do we want to repeat? What's working in our lives? Okay, so it's really kind of what's working and what do we want to keep doing? Okay, so you say, all right, well, what works is that I get up in the morning, I do a meditation practice at 5 a.m. And I've been doing that. I'm just kind of making this stuff up. But let's say I was getting up every morning at 5 a.m. and doing a meditation practice for like 30 minutes every day, 365 days of the year. I wouldn't want to change that. I would say, that's pretty good. I'm going to repeat that, right? So if there's things that you're doing that's working well, you say, all right, I want to do that. And maybe change is, what do you want to do better? What do you want? How do you want to improve? Or maybe there's something you're doing in the repeat column that you want to fine tune a little bit more. So I want to invite you to take some time and write down what you want to repeat, what's working. You want to keep doing it, right? Like, I have a job, I want to keep doing it. I'm going to keep working. I've been doing it for 40 years. I may not want to keep doing it. And then what do I want to change? So take a few minutes and do that. And if you're on Zoom, invite you to do the same. Take a sheet of paper and just on the left-hand side, write what you want to repeat, what's working, and on the right-hand side, what do you want to change? So I invite everyone on Zoom, to participate as well. How about 2 more minutes? What do you want to repeat? If you didn't have a chance to do this, what is working in your life? What do you want to repeat? And change is what do you want to improve upon? What do you want to do differently? Well, you are your own evaluator. And God, but you know. So what I'm going to ask if you would be willing to do is to talk with another, pick another person. Maybe someone, could be someone next to you, could be someone who's not next to you, could be someone else. And maybe take a minute, or it could be if you're in a group, maybe it could be if it's 3, you can be a group of 3, or if you want to be more than, you can do more than that. And maybe just if you're willing to share, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to share everything, but maybe 1 or 2 things that you want to, from the repeat and change column. So let's take a few minutes to do a little sharing between people. What you want to repeat, what you want to change. So let's take about 5 minutes to do a little small group, and you can invite more than 1 person, 2 people. It can be a group of how many you want. So maybe turn your chairs to each other so you can look at each other. Look in each other's eyes. Let's make eye contact. And if you're in Zoom, you can maybe look at, do text messages, use the chat. And the chat, you can share it by chat if you wish to others that are in the Zoom.
What?
Okay, how we doing? Another 30 seconds. All right, we're going to wrap up, folks.
Oh, we're doing reflections for, right? So I'll sit back down.
Okay, so why don't we bring our chairs back? If we could turn back and return again. Return again. Return back to your chair. Turn back to where you were sitting. Return again. Return again. Return back to where you were sitting. Return to where your chair was. Return to where you were sitting. Return back into community. Return again. Return again. Return back to where your chair was. Return to where your chair was. Return to where you were. Return. Return back to where your chair was. Okay. So anyone ask, how was that exercise? Was that interesting? So anything it was a lot of exercise. Was there anything that you want to, anybody would like to share? Why don't we, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's if it's too personal. But if you feel like what you might want to share could be maybe something you think other people could relate to, that or if it's something personal that you want to share. So this is what we do in Judaism. This is the closest we get to confessions. We don't have priests that we confess to in Judaism. We share openly in community. So this is kind of like a confession, that we're confessing and acknowledging areas where we may have missed the mark, where we say we want to do something, we didn't do it. We want to maybe do a better job next year. So Larry, you want to say a few words, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the mic, please?
Something that I read a long time ago that I try to remember, and that is, before you respond, try to put yourself in alignment with your highest self. No matter what the situation is, always try to act as if you are speaking for your higher self, or you're acting for your higher self. And I forget this a lot, but I always come back to it, and I try to remember that.
Can anyone relate to that? And when someone says something, if you can relate to that, what they said, I'll invite you to raise your hand just to acknowledge. So that person is not alone. Anyone relate to that?
I would like to really learn to fully love and accept people I don't like. That is to me, can you, everybody hear me there? Yeah, yeah. Because it's so easy to love like you guys and everything, but there's people I don't like. I don't, whether I don't know them personally or do know them personally, and selfish people. And even that word I just used there,
So you can say I judge as selfish.
it's, yeah. So at any rate, that's unconditional love, it's called.
Thank you.
You know, I was just reminded of a story. Can't get by him. Anyway, I know that when I was first reading A Course in Miracles, each page was a mystery to me. How do I do this? What do I do? And I was reading the page where it says, to see the Christ in others. I thought, well, what does that mean? Am I supposed to see Jesus? What am I supposed to do? Well, that day I had to pick up somebody from my, I don't know what you call it. Anyway, he was mentally retarded and he's in a unit. And I picked him up ever since he was a kid. We would pick him up for one weekend a month. And I went to get him. And he was particularly obnoxious that day, which wasn't usually how he was. Albert wasn't that way. But oh God. So anyway, I remember I was trying to figure out how to do this. And he was standing in the line at the Dairy Queen. And I said, God, show me, how do I see the Christ? And I looked over at him. And I saw it. You can't describe it, but I saw it. And his face lit up. And when it was like, you see me. Oh my God, he was very spiritually sensitive. He lit up like a light bulb. And that's what taught me. That's what seeing the Christ is. Seeing the real person.
Wow, my story is just like yours. There was a person in a class I was in that I really couldn't stand, and I think for good reasons. And, I guess it came from the Course in Miracles. I didn't think about that, but the idea was in my head to look at them and I literally see the face of Christ in them. And I did that, and it worked. I was astounded because I'm a crabby old guy. If I don't like you, you know it. And that was just some kind of miracle, some kind of grace. It was really powerful to know that works, that can work. It was fabulous.
Thank you. How about maybe one or two more? So Michael and then Jeff. Oh, who's going?
Oh, I just got to add on to Kaylee and Dave too. And I've told this before here, but remember when we had the, what were they called? Icons. And there was Our Lady of Guadalupe, and we're supposed to ask a question. And I said to Our Lady of Guadalupe, how can I help Christine? And she says, see her as you see me. There is no difference between her and me. We are all Mary. We are all Jesus. We are all.
Michael, did you want to say something?
I'll bring it back for you. If you want to.
I think Jeff wants to say something. Get David, then Jeff.
I just was, listening to what Dave said about I couldn't stand that person, and being a lyricist and a singer-songwriter. I hear words and I wonder, where did that come from? I can't stand that person. And it just struck me that it's about not being willing to stand up for that person. It just struck me that that's what that means. I can't stand up for you. And everything that's being said here is about seeing the person behind the veil, because we all have our stories and we all have our protection and we all wear our masks. So it just was quite a little revelation for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
being a practicing Buddhist, we look for the Buddha light within. Christ light within, Buddha light within. And I'll go back to something you mentioned just at the beginning of the celebration. Words and actions should align. But in Buddhist teachings, with our thoughts, we make the world. So we want our thoughts to align with our words and our actions. So it's very similar.
Thank you. One more?
Similar to Larry. I think I mentioned before that when I feel my thoughts going in, I call it toilet bowl direction. I hit the Tibetan bowl, and now I actually have one. My girlfriend gave me one back about a year ago when she heard me describe this, and I let it ring in my mind and heart and get quiet and try to see things from a different way. And I want to add into that sense, I was stuck and struck by these beautiful words from your first song, return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Just wanted to add that in the Christian rite of baptism across all Christian is we promise, the community says, we promise to seek and serve Christ in all persons.
So I just want to acknowledge, isn't it interesting how all the different faiths crosswalk, intersect. So this is acknowledging the Jewish path and how the Christian path. And I hear people talking about, how do I see Christ, which is seeing the divine in the next person. Yeah.
Not a believer. He said, oh, no, we're very different. I said, wait a minute. There's only one ocean. Have you noticed? It has many different names, but there's only one ocean on the earth, and there's only one God.
This is really minor, but David, when you were singing the song and you used source as 2 syllables, I thought you were saying source.
I have,
And there it is. It's all about perception, right?
I have something.
I wondered if anyone on Zoom wants to speak, and I think I see Andy Wright. Hi, Andy. Shout out to Andy. Continuing to recover.
Yes, hopefully.
Andy, is
I'll
that who we're
be
asking to
able to
speak?
join you.
Andy Wright, do you want to say
Yes.
something?
Yes, perhaps was not being recorded here, but I hope to be with you next week, and that is something
All
really
right.
fine for my soul.
I just want to say, Andy, we're glad that you're here. We all love you very much. I'm glad that you were doing better.
Yes. And Janet, do you want to speak?
Yeah, this is pretty funny. I was putzing around the house here for a minute looking for a particular book. And let me turn on my camera. And I happened to have found one that I borrowed from Pebble. I haven't read it yet, called Living A Course in Miracles. And it says, and then I just opened it randomly, to this. Sin is the belief in separation, or quote unquote, the idea of evil. It is a lack of love. When we read the word sin in the chorus, we can use the word separation. When we read separation, we can use the word sin. Sin is a belief that it is possible to do something against God. And also, I used to live in a Course in Miracles community with Alan Cohen back in 1984 in an old monastery. And we all had our own little, where the nuns used to stay. We had our own little room. And we used to laugh about this word so much, and we would call it self-inflicted nonsense.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Janet.
Alan Cohen.
Okay, anyone else before we end? You want to say something? Go ahead.
I wanted to read something. I wanted to share something. Some of you may have heard this before. It's called Distorata. Well, if you've heard it before, if not, come see me afterwards. It's hard to do. Well, if I had to pick a paragraph that was my favorite, which is really hard to do, be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is perennial as the grass. And one more, beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here.
What's a great one? Modified. God grant me coffee to do the things I can and wine to be with those that I cannot.
Well, there's another version of the Serenity Prayer, and it's, God grant me the serenity to accept the persons I cannot change, the wisdom to know the difference, and what was the last part? The understanding that it is me. So to recognize that I'm the one who has to change. If I want others. One last one, Moose.
I have a wonderful children's book at home. I wish I had brought it, called Gershon's Monster. And it's a story from the Rosh Hashanah. It's related. And Gershon is someone who has been rude and inconsiderate. And every time he does that, he sweeps it all down the cellar. And once a year, he'll put it all in a huge bag and carry it down to the ocean and throw it into the ocean. And he and his wife have wanted children, and they haven't been able to have one. So he goes to this wise Jewish, I don't remember what it's called, and he begs for to be able to have a child. And the man finally says, yes, you will have twins. You will have a boy and a girl, and you will have them for 5 years. And when the children always play by the ocean, and he said after the 5 years, they will go down to the ocean, and he wouldn't tell him what would happen. And it really shook him up. And but he forgot all about it. And he said, on the day that you put 2 socks on one foot, that this will happen. And that day came. In 5 years, he had these 2 beautiful children, and he realized he had put 2 socks on one foot, and he ran down to the ocean, and the children were there, and they were right by the water, and this huge monster rose up out of the water, big, black, and threatening. And he ran down and pleaded with the monster. He said, take me. He pushed the children out of the way, take me instead. And the monster just disappeared, and except for the raindrops that fell from it. And he was transformed from that moment on, because he was able to, this is I'm telling it concisely, but it was a beautiful story. But he had been all that time just sweeping his sins down and away and dumping it into the ocean.
So the monster was all his sins that he swept under the ocean, under the rug. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to go to our closing song, and Dave is going to lead us, and the words are on the back of your program.
To the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, another one that you know. Forgive, forgive, O God of grace, lift the burden we embrace. In this hour, hear our plea. Cleanse our souls, set us free. Forgive, forgive, O God of grace. Help us find our sacred space. AI, I'm serious.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Celebration when reflections go long.
Yes, yes, that is true. That is true. Thank you all for participating.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate everyone's involvement. Thank you so much.
Have a good week, everybody.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, Tika Tevu.